Thank you for joining CU Bands and Fans podcast. Our podcast is brought to you by Homegrown KIO. Homegrown KIO is on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. It is a stellar show featuring the great songs that have come from bands originating in Champaign-Urbana. Listen at 107.9 on your FM dial, at 1079WKIO.com, or ask Alexa to play WKIO.
KIO Arcola Champaign-Urbana. Classic Hits 1079. Streaming at 1079WKIO.com. Or ask Alexa for WKIO.
Stay tuned for the end of the podcast. We will be playing Reject by Syris, a new release from this artist, released February 23rd, 2023. Enjoy. Hello, welcome to CU Bands and Fans podcast, where musicians tell their story. My co-host is Zach Widup. How are you, Zach?
Good. Hello, everyone.
Good. Good to see you, Zach. Our guest is Syris, also known as Paige White. Paige has been in music for quite a while. Most recently, she has a new release, and she is on Spotify. We will have the link on the with this podcast, as well as we're going to play one of her songs. So when we end this podcast, please stay tuned and take a listen to her song. So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You look amazing. We haven't seen you in a while. We knew you, gosh, back when.
It's been a long time.
It has. But it's good to see you, and it's good to see and to hear your music, and to hear that you're doing music and you're recording. And you most recently just released a song on Spotify. Can you tell us about that? What the name of the song, where it came from, and who recorded?
Yeah, so it is called Reject. My entire life, I've always felt like an outcast, the black sheep of school, of my family a little bit. Always bullied, had a lot of issues. Always had a lot of issues with friends too. Could never find a good friend that would be like I was, you know what I mean? I'd be willing to give my heart to anybody, and it's hard to find the same from people. So I just kind of had enough and wanted to write a song for everybody who's ever felt like a reject, who's ever felt like an outcast. And I wanted it to be catchy. I wanted it to be something that anybody could relate to. And the first two songs I did were kind of like EDM, pop, dance music-y. And I loved it. I love that type of music. But for some reason, the pop punk really felt right, and it fit perfectly for me. So we went with that, and it's been the best ever since. I really like it a lot, and I think we found my sound and my style.
I think it is different than your first two.
Yes.
It's got a whole different vibe, a whole different feeling, and the lyrics. I knew there was a story with this, according to the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of I don't really know how to explain it listening to it, but you could tell that this derived out of some kind of obviously feeling rejected, and or not feeling like you were a part of the mainstream flow of, and to be bullied and that kind of a thing is horrible. So I really commend you for writing this and putting it out there, and so other young people, or just anyone, I think that feels constantly picked on and constantly not a part, and constantly not brought into the whatever you want to call the most popular situations or people or whatever, cliques, all of that. And I think that you being a creative artist and a music person, it's kind of a good intention to turn that into music where you can inspire other people.
Yeah,
So this
and that
particular came from that.
yes, and that was actually we started writing it, and it was multiple sessions because with work schedules and stuff like that, we couldn't just knock it out in one. Um, but there was a good time where I went in and I was really feeling the emotions and I let it out and everybody was just amazed and it felt so right and so perfect. And from then on, something else kind of sparked. I kind of found my voice a couple of years ago. I think it was after Flipside, which was my first one. I always knew where I wanted to go with it, and we finally found it. So I think by making this song, I perfected it the way we wanted to finally do it.
And the cover work, the artwork, was that you?
Yeah,
That
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, I made it, and that's me as well with some AI picture.
Yeah, nice job.
Thank you.
It fits the song for sure.
Yeah,
And,
I felt so.
yeah, and I hope that everyone does listen to the song. We're gonna definitely make sure that it gets out there. It is on Spotify, and it is different than your first two. And I listened to all three of them today just to refresh. I've listened to them before, but to refresh myself for this podcast. And I love the vibe of the first two as well. It's kind of I don't know. I love the lyrics too. But this one I knew was personal and could kind of speak because it's I don't want to say angry. I'm not sure that's the right word, but I think you let some anger out in the
Oh
song.
yeah,
Okay. So that's
definitely. It was
yeah.
like in a positive way. It was relieving.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad I finally like I don't know how to put it into words, but it really worked out, and I can't wait to continue doing stuff just like that. And even the EDM stuff, I want to continue to do stuff like that too because I love it. It's so much fun. I want to even start producing my own stuff eventually as well.
Yeah. So and who did record this?
So his name is Tim. He is in Monticello. That's where he's stationed right now. Stationed. That's where
Yeah.
his
Established, yeah.
yeah established. I met him a few years ago. I actually did a cover with him for Sweater Weather, and I had taken a long break from doing music, and I got in connection with him, and I was like, I really want to start. I want to get into the studio. I want to make real music. I'm sick of playing acoustic songs and feeling like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I was like, I'm not getting anywhere with that. I've been having the same dream for this long. It's time to do something. So we got in and we vibed so well. And he is now my best friend. Work with him all the time. It's called Absent State, is the production company. And he is amazing. He does music himself. He goes by Confidence with an S. But he is extremely talented, and he can knock out those beats within like minutes. It's insane.
Yeah, it's you can tell, yeah, that's great to find somebody that you can work with and collaborate with and come out with what you envisioned.
Oh
So
yeah.
somebody that like sets that forth with you and gets it out there the way you wanted it to be. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. We will definitely have these links on this podcast as well. So you said you took a break, and we knew you did. There was there was a huge kind of gap between what you were doing and then you came out with this. So did you take that break because you were tired of the monotonous same kind of thing you were doing and you were like, I'm gonna really search this out, seek things out? Or did you take a break because you were just kind of up to here with music at that point? Or what was the purpose of the
It was
break?
actually it was a few different things. The first, it was definitely being tired of doing the same thing over and over again. But in 2016, I moved to Phoenix for I lived in till 2018. I didn't have my guitar for at least a year or two. And I had my roommate's guitar. I just didn't have the motivation. I lost my writer's block for years. Even before that, I still couldn't get it back. Nothing was sparking it. And I just was kind of bored of the situation, very depressed, in and out. and I didn't want to put anything out like that anymore. And I was trying to meet producers out in Arizona as well, just nothing was sparking. So it's been insane meeting him, and it's like the universe aligned us. It's crazy. Everything, we know exactly what we like. I can tell him the kind of sound I want. My writer's block is completely gone now. I'm not the only one who writes. My girlfriend writes, he writes. So we're just like the best team. It's amazing.
So all three of you together kind of just collaborate and
Yeah.
write and make this
Mhm.
happen. Three, or what was I going to say? Timing is everything.
Yeah.
It really.
Everything
And
happens for a reason when it's supposed to.
yeah. And so we're glad that you found that timing. You moved back to Illinois, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Your mom is a musician,
Yes.
a wonderful lady that we all know in the music scene. And Jenny Carpenter is your mom. And
Amazing.
we adore her. She's super talented. She's just a super great person, to begin
Mhm.
with. How much influence has she had on you?
All of it. Because I started off acting. She tells me all the time I used to like put myself to sleep humming as a baby, and I love that. But she has been in on stage under the spotlight even before I was born. And I didn't have, like I said, friends in school. So I followed in her footsteps, and I wanted to go do community theater and go be with them. And that was my little family, my getaway. I loved it. I was very shy at first, so I didn't like get to be in any musicals until I was 8, it's still young, but it was pretty cool. And so it was just the thing that we did together. And then it's funny because she has always wanted to do music, but I started mainly diving in that before she fully did. So like that's something we've bonded on with too. She's gotten farther than I have in Champaign and all that, and she's helped me so much get in touch with amazing people and put me on the right like stages when I wanted to be. So if it weren't for her, I wouldn't be doing any of this.
Yeah, I forgot she was in theater. I don't know how I could forget
Mm-hmm.
that,
Yeah.
but yeah. So you did some theater,
Mm-hmm.
but you began to veer towards music.
So I mean, I've always loved music. Like I loved doing poetry in English class. I always wrote lyrics. It was cheesiest lyrics, but I remember writing them. I tried different instruments throughout life. Like I got like a little first act guitar, tried the Little Mary Had a Little Lamb, didn't like that. Tried piano. I don't really have the attention span for that. I'm still trying. I actually taught myself guitar though. I finally got like a really nice one in 8th grade, and finally started like teaching myself and putting music on MySpace. And then I actually quit acting like freshman year of high school. I just really felt like it wasn't for me. It wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. And then I started really focusing on music. And then I started doing talent shows, Battle of the Bands. And I knew I wasn't good. I knew that, but I wanted to put my like progression journey out there and just show. And I've come a long way, and it's hard because I know the people that used to like know who I was then didn't take me seriously. And so it's kind of hard to get their attention now. But the people that like I have gotten a lot of really good feedback from those people, and it feels really good.
Because now you're kind of come into your own, so to speak. You're not hanging on
Yeah.
any hotels. You're not, trying to prove yourself. You're just doing what you want to do. And
Yep.
it's good.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
As young as you are, because you're young, and to to I guess like kind of like let everybody see the process of your journey and stuff, that takes a lot of boldness, I think.
It
And
made me the person I am.
yeah, and that's good, because you could have remained just kind of unseen, making sure that you're not seen or heard, but with this music, you're definitely seen and heard. And
Thank you.
it's pretty terrific. And I like the fact that it is, I mean, it's for all ages, but it really kind of seems like it targets more youth. And
Yeah.
we kind of need that, like younger people
Yeah.
really getting interested in music. And if you could inspire someone, what would be your target audience to inspire?
Rejects. People who ever felt like they don't belong. I mean, of course, anybody else, but that's definitely like the rebellious community, but like, nothing dangerous or anything. But you know,
Yeah.
it's that, and I've always wanted, because that I had that Miley Cyrus, which is where my name kind of derives from, because she helped me so much. She was the person that I went to with her music and stuff when I was really depressed and didn't have friends in school. She helped me. Like she has a lot to do with the reason that I'm here today as well. So, you know, I wanted to do what she did. Demi Lovato, another big inspiration to me. She helped a lot of people with mental health in the mental health community, and that's something that I aspire to do. And they did that for me. I want to do that for other people.
That's really cool. So that's where the name Syris came from.
Yeah, because you know, it took a long time to think of a name, and I was kind of iffy about it for a long time because I didn't want to like copy, I guess you could say. But
Yeah.
then I see people out there doing things like that all the time, like G-Eazy, who's a rapper. He got Easy from Easy E. You have all the Lils and all that everywhere. People doing names off Cardi B's name, like, so I kind of was like, okay, maybe I could do this, and it's literally my way of kind of giving back to her in a way. A thank you, but also it means a lot to me. A great grandpa, I believe, named Syris as well. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool. I think that's amazing. And I don't see any copyright problems with it. You're not using her full name. You're not, but that's cool. Kind of a tip your hat to your
Exactly.
inspirations. What else is kind of cool is that I mean, she was out there or whatever with music, and you were gleaning something from this that was healing you.
Oh,
Yeah, and now in turn, you're creating music that's going to heal someone else.
and that's been my dream forever, literally.
So when you started music, that's what you wanted to do?
Yeah, it wasn't it. I mean, I've always felt like I was meant to do it. I always felt like I was meant to be under the spotlight on stage. It's always been like my dream since I can remember. But that's been my purpose with it, especially going through what I went through. You know, I didn't quit. I didn't give up. People kept telling me to give up, to kill myself. I heard it all, but I kept going because I knew like they were making me stronger. And I knew that, you know, you hear all these stories of all these successful people. They all went through horrible, horrible things. They were, a lot of them were very bullied, and they continued to go. And that's why I kept doing it. And I was like, I'm going to help somebody one day. And I have helped some people, and it's been the best feeling in the world. And it's the best high I've ever had. So I'm going to keep doing that, keep fighting, and keep growing and getting as many people to help that I possibly can, and to have fun while I'm doing it.
Yeah, because I mean, you've got a great message, and you got a message that needs to be heard right now. And that bullying thing, I can't even tolerate it. I can't deal with that very well. Deal with it very well
It's
at all.
bad.
Yeah,
My dream is actually, I would love to like make it to a big name someday, or just a well-known name where I can walk up in a school and go sit with a kid who's sitting by themselves and just have lunch with them. You know what I mean? And like everybody be like, oh, you know, I want to do stuff like that. You know, that would be awesome.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Is you're probably hopefully gonna reach a platform where you will do that and be such an influence, and that like if you did go in and even speak at schools, or did go in and sit next to the kid that's been rejected and bullied and all of that and sitting next to them, and I love this. I love this. This is so needed, and music can be so influential and significant in these kids' lives. You know,
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that whole that's your vision. That's one of your goals. That's where you see yourself. That's what you want to do. So, what else do you have going on? You got anything else coming up?
Yeah. So we're working on a three to maybe 5 song EP, probably 3. My goal next is to get a chunk of songs out, not just a little single. I want to get a chunk out. And I have 3 songs. I would like to start doing gigs. We are doing a music video soon for Reject as well. I would like to
Oh,
start doing gigs with Syris, get a band together. I would have to do probably a lot of covers right now, but now I have a few songs to start promoting as myself. So I think that's what's important. Hopefully this spring, this summer, everything will start kicking into gear a lot more.
yeah, most definitely. So the music video, that's gonna have to be, I mean, I already see that in my kind of a little bit in my head how that would have to flow. Uh, when do you think you're gonna do that?
Probably spring, like once it gets a little warmer, because we envision it being outside in a lot of different areas. So
I look forward to that. I think
yeah,
that's
I do too.
having that visual with your song will just that'll be crazy, you know. It'll probably
Especially with like
be emotional. So, you
yeah,
know,
it'll be fun. But I've never done a music video before, so
Do
music
you have
video.
an idea of how you want to put the video together, what's involved in it and where it is and that sort of thing?
yeah. He wants to keep it on the DL a little bit right now, but it's just gonna be kind of like a rebellious thing, and we want to kind of have. My goal is to have like a good amount of people in it. I would like to have anybody who feels like a reject to be a part of it, and even wear crazy makeup, crazy outfits. I think that would be really fun. But
Should,
yeah, it's gonna. I would like to do it around Champagne.
Yeah.
yeah. So when you get ready to do this and you're searching for people if you're gonna go that direction to be in that video like that, let us know. We'll make a post and get people engaged.
I will absolutely. That would be really fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
And we are following you now. So anything that, you know, comes up on your page, we're going to get a notification that this is what's going on.
Thank
Have
you guys.
you thought about, merch,
Yeah,
t-shirt?
he's actually made some. We have some made right now with my current logo, something that will be updated to more. I want to work more on that, but for this era with Reject, we have a good logo out. And we did some stuff that we released during Flipside was the first song, some fanny packs and stuff like that. But we have some sweatshirts, stickers, t-shirts out right now, beanies, I believe, as well.
Wait, you have fanny packs?
I don't know with this one, but we did before. I think we might still now. I have to check. We can make it happen if not.
I would totally love it.
All right, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
And the only reason I say that is because I'm a photographer. So that's kind of handy to have at
You're
fairs and
right, it is. And who doesn't love a good fanny pack?
my son.
Oh,
Like, mom, no. I'm like, yeah,
I
it
love them.
works for me for photography. So, you know, I don't care
They're in
how.
they're in style too. So
Yeah, we brought the fanny pack.
yeah, the fanny pack bag. I love that.
So, how else? What is your further vision beyond this? Because
I
I've
just
like
want to.
talked about definitely how you want to affect people that and kids and whatever that feel like rejects or have been rejected and going through a horrible time that has even brought many of them to suicide, which is just
Unfortunately,
tragic. So what, like in 5 years from now, where do you see yourself? You don't see yourself taking another break from music, that's for sure, right?
oh no, it's
You're on it now.
the ball's rolling now. I can't stop it now. I was trying to get it rolling, then it's really rolling now. My goal is to. I want to have I want to see myself on like 100,000 streams. That would be really cool. I would love that. For songs, I wanna do more shows, festivals, touring. I've always wanted to tour, always, whether that be opening for somebody, what. But my dreams go. They don't stop.
Good.
I
That's
want to be at the Grammys. I'm talking all of that. So who knows? Hopefully within 5 years I could be beyond my wildest dreams. I would love that.
so. Have you like? I mean, it'd be kind of cool if you could meet Miley Cyrus.
That's my goal.
An idea of the how she inspired you in those ways and how she helps you.
Yeah. So I didn't fully meet her, but I kind of did. And this is my favorite story in the universe. But it was in 2015. She was on tour with the Flaming Lips for the Dead Pets tour. And it was a very small, intimate tour. Like, I had my work let me off early to go get a ticket, but I only got one. And it was at the Riviera. Chicago was the first stop. So like that, if that tells you how small the show was, I waited outside for 2 days in the middle of October in Chicago. And because I've been a fan of her since 2006. Like, this was my dream. I've seen her multiple times at this point, but never very close at all. So yeah, I was there. I had blue hair at the time, so I stuck out. I had a pretty prominent outfit at the time too. Very noticeable. But I had met like all the right people. I met Wayne Coyne that morning, which was insane. I met his girlfriend at the time, now wife, who was Miley's best friend, Katie. And then I became friends with one of the security guards who worked for the theater. And he helped me out. He got my phone in and got some footage of her sound check. And then before we went in, I was talking to this guy. I saw him out there and I wanted to get a picture of his lanyard. It was the first show. I'm a big fan. And I was talking to him. So I'm like, oh, are you like, what do you do for the tour? Or do you work for the theater? And he just kind of laughed at me. And I had already told him my story. He was kind of talking to me, and I told him how much Miley meant to me. And at this point he was like, I'm her manager. And I was like, whoa, like mind blown. And he's like, I like you. Where are you going to be? Where are you going to be at? And it was first come, first serve, general admission. I was like, I'm aiming for front and center. And he's like, okay. So later on, they open the doors. We're in the lobby area, not into the theater section. And I'm like right by the door. And he actually walks out and he's like, hey, he's like, I just talked to her about you. And I was like, taken away. And he's like, what do you want? I want to get you something. And before I could answer him, security pushed him back into the theater and I didn't see him for the rest of the night. I ended up pulling aside somebody who ended up being her head of security. And I was friends with him for years after that. It was crazy. But I had met all the right people and she had known who I was. Like I said, blue hair, so it stuck out. I have her signature on my wrist for depression issues back in the day, but like she knew about everything. So she sees me, she comes out, she interacted with me the whole night. And then I ended up having the one and only seizure I've ever had in my life. And that was the end of that night. So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was bad. She stopped the show, but because she mentioned I saw videos and she was like, this is what happens when you take more drugs and vitamins and should be I was sober. I just messed my body up to get to that point. Like, didn't eat, I was out in the cold for the past 2 days, was very dehydrated, and probably in a lot of shock that my hero of that long was right in front of me. It was crazy, but honestly the coolest experience of my life still. So she knows about me, and she's not going to forget the girl who had a seizure in the front row. So
no kidding. I can't believe that happened to you.
Yeah, I got it. It's crazy, but I will live to tell that story forever. So
it's a pretty amazing story. The way you this person and this person, you just connected with just all the right people.
And it was by accident. Like, yeah. And I told my friends before, I was like, something's gonna happen tonight. We're not gonna meet her. And I have like many opportunities too. Like, I had people that I had met at the show that met her after and mentioned me, and she talked about me. Like, I would have met her And that's why I felt like it wasn't supposed to happen at that time.
Yeah. So, but you would like to still.
Oh, more than I want to thank her for everything she's done so badly.
I think you should have that opportunity. Somehow that's got to happen.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hope so too.
that's my goal.
Really, I really do. That would be,
I think it's meant to happen. It's weird. Like, I don't talk about this often, but like the first time I ever watched Hannah Montana back in 2006, it was the craziest thing. I'm a very spiritual person. Back then, not so much, I didn't think much of it. But something hit me and I was like, I feel like this girl's gonna be something important to my life. Like the first time I saw her, it was weird. We ended up or I became such a big fan. I read her book, realized we have a lot of stuff in common. Like it's really weird. She was bullied too. She went through a lot of the same stuff that I did. Like it's just it's weird. The stars align in weird ways. I would love for her to mentor me in music anyway. Like she is my hero for sure. So
that has to happen.
I hope it does.
Yeah.
One day, period.
Yeah, period. That just has to happen. And I bet you anything, if somehow she got your story, if it got directly to her and not through, everybody else and all of that, but directly to her, I guarantee you she would reach out to you.
Yeah, I hope. I didn't even think about like trying to structure some sort of TikTok to get her attention. I don't know, but
Yeah,
it'll happen when it's right. I do believe that for sure.
yeah, true. Who knows? You may have a big hit here and then it'll end up, reaching her. Maybe she would sing your song.
That would right over my head. That would be the craziest thing in the world.
It's
Duet with
possible.
Miley, that's everything. Yeah.
Do you sing her songs?
Yeah, not like that. Um, it's almost how my mom is with Prince. Like I don't feel like I can compare to her music. So I don't sing it that much, but I do like I like some I like to sing some of her stuff for sure. It's just I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, Jenny is
Yeah.
very, very the biggest Prince fan that I know. And there's a
Yeah.
lot, but she is definitely one of the biggest Prince fans that I know.
She's
So
had some experiences.
when you're writing, when do you write? Just whenever it moves you, or whenever you get an idea, or do you just jot this down on paper? And I like I think on Spotify, I was reading your lyrics. Did you have your lyrics up on, where were your
I think
lyrics?
he put them up on Spotify, I think.
Yeah, that's
I
where I
just
was.
yeah, I just discovered that recently as well. So
Yeah, I like that you can read the
thank you.
lyrics.
Yeah.
The writing, like, do you get the music first when
Oh,
does the lyrics come to you first?
it's kind of a bunch of different things. I will jot them down if I'm feeling something extra. I'll try to really like knock out as many lyrics as I can. We've learned recently that I kind of want to leave like the chorus hooks to Tim because that's what he's best at. If I can write down a good verse, perfect. I like to throw in ideas, but usually we will have the song ready and kind of build off that. But it's been a bunch of different things.
So you get and then the title of a song. Like where do you get the title first? Do you write the song? You all collaborate, you bring the song forth, and then you title it? Or I bet you
That
I bet you
reject was the first one that I came up with the title first. I was like, I want it to be just like this. I want to be called the Reject because I wanted to think of a good name for like an outcast. I was like, Reject's perfect. I think it's perfect. So we built it off that. Before we just would build the song and then kind of pick like out of the chorus that we were writing and put the title out of that.
Perfect. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
Well, let me see. I'm trying to think if is there anything else that you wanted to share? Because I'd like to send this podcast to Miley Cyrus.
That would be
I
awesome.
was thinking that same thought.
That I think we should do that. It's a good game plan. I think we
Yep.
covered everything. You know, this is my first podcast. It's like
Oh, you're
everything.
great. You
Thank
did
you.
absolutely great. I'll probably cut that part out of me saying, "Oh, and you did great." But
No,
yeah,
put it on top.
you did, and you look fantastic. You look
Thank
healthy,
you.
great, just beautiful, and I really love your music. I'm glad we did this with you because I think that you have a really important, deep, powerful message. And these kids or whatever need to know that. They need to know there's somebody in their corner, that there's somebody that has the power of music in their corner specifically for them. And that's pretty big. I mean, I'm almost like crying right now.
That means a lot to me. My heart's crying. It feels really good to hear that because that's what I've been fighting for so long. So it feels good.
That just gave me goosebumps. You know, you don't many they seriously do need to tap into this. So I hopefully will be able to hopefully this podcast will do a lot, but also getting your song, taking your song and sharing it in these different places with a message. A self-description, I think, of where the song came from would be pretty powerful. So, I mean, if you did that, because we got a pretty good self-description here on this podcast, but I think if you did that in words, that I could share with the music link, or maybe even put that on the Spotify. If you could do a self-description of that, your story, I think, just needs to be heard. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Thank you.
Okay, it needs to be heard on the podcast, and it also needs to be heard where the song came from and why, and maybe a description like that or something with the song would reach more people that go, oh, I feel that way. Let me listen to this, or let me get in contact. Would you have a problem with people like reaching out to you, contacting you?
God,
like,
no.
Okay, so
Please.
yeah, let's do this. So it's awesome. Thank you for being open with us, and sharing your heart and sharing your music, and gosh, let's make this stuff reach. Let's make it reach.
Heck yeah. And thanks for having me for my first podcast. I loved it. This was fun and comfortable because I know you guys,
Something, how funny coming from you. Takes one to know one. I hear what everyone is saying about me. All of my friends are trying to out me, like I could give a fuck about it. Takes one to know one. I feel so numb. I'm over it, the recklessness that plagued my mind. I'm here alone, so fucking used to it. I hardly knew much better, but I'll be fine. Reject, I'm a fucking reject. I'm a disappointment, yeah, that's fine. Perfect, I'll never be perfect. I'll always be worthless in your eyes. I'll never be perfect. I'll always be worthless. Learn my lesson once or twice. I get nowhere playing nice. Took a gamble, rolled the dice. How you like it when I add a little spice? And all these little voices running through my head, telling me that I'd be better off if I were dead. Screaming to the void until I'm turning red. Yeah, let's get it. This time I'm not giving in quite so easily, and I just might pull myself up from 6 feet under, waking up from this deep dark slumber. I'm dousing flames from your gaslight. I'm swinging into a fist fight. Bet you wish you could start all a fucking reject, I'm a disappointment, yeah, that's fine. Perfect, I'll never be perfect, I'll always be worthless in your eyes. I'll never be perfect, I'll always be worthless. It was all a mirage. You were never really all. Let me take too many falls. I was too blind. Always felt the steps ahead, when really I was too behind. I'm not nice anymore. Reject, I'm a fucking reject, I'm a disappointment, yeah, that's fine. Perfect, I'll never be perfect, I'll always be worthless in your eyes. I'll never be perfect, I'll always be worthless. I'll never be perfect, I'll always be worthless.